Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you one of my songs. This video is related to a private workshop asked by Chris. Before to go ahead with this kind of technique, maybe it's important to study more staccato sound. So you will find the link that is going to appear on this video. So you could come back and maybe listen to the introduction of that workshop and maybe asking for that workshop. In this workshop, in this lesson, we are going to study Dynamic. That is a song that I wrote maybe in 2004. And I decided to write down with classical notation. Because in this way we can divide the pattern in very small parts and it will be easier to proceed. There are some variation using vocals and where to put the briefing, but the basic starts from and then, as you could hear, there are some variation with low vocals, high vocals, breathing, moving from the very staccato sound to the drone, and how to mix them. So this is the main topic of this workshop. I will also explain which kind of instrument it's better to use for having a better result with real staccato, but with a clear sound and with no sound of friction of our lips, where the sound get out from our didgeridoo a bit more crispy, but like this, that is not good at all. So thank you very much. If you want, ask me for the entire lesson. If you like this kind of topics, please thumbs up, make a comment, and maybe subscribe to the channel. In case I find a new topic, I will publish a new video. Thank you. Okay, so first of all, it is important to choose the right instrument, because otherwise we risk to, as I said in the introduction, we risk to have a very crispy sound that came out from the didgeridoo, and it sounds like if the didgeridoo does not exist at all. It sounds like if we are vibrating our lips on the air, like this. So I usually prefer to have conical didgeridoos because, for example, if I tune this one in D, it's not bad at all, but I feel more comfortable with other shapes, especially if I go higher with the key. First of all, I'd like to have a more powerful sound, especially when I add the drone, because when I move from the real very staccato sound to the drone, I really want to have a great contrast between them. And I don't want to listen this kind of sound that is crispy, but I want to have more a pulsive sound, like, and not. And this kind of instrument risk to emphasize more the friction between our lips than the real sound. Okay, this is carved, but if you use a conical didgeridoo, like Idakis or didgeridoo made by several makers, but they are conical. Usually it's better to have them with the basic drone in a keynote and the tooth 1 octave higher. In case for Chris, I would suggest you to use the higher slide in the keynote of maybe E, D sharp, D. Maybe you can also try with F, but these are the keys that I mostly prefer. You can also do it with very low key, but I prefer to have pretty the average of the classical didgeridoos that are usually from D to F. And so, coming back to the previous lesson when we studied staccato, first of all we have to practice with this sound. Very important, we have to use this kind of sound very, very clear, very, very precise. So what we can do to increase the quality of this kind of sound? We could use a didgeridoo and playing it in front of a wall. In this case, the sound comes back to us immediately, and we can have a better feedback from the instrument. This is why I also like to use this instrument, because the sound is very close to my head and I can move it, and it is very simple to carry it with me. So, first of all, we have to play the T. So, tip of the tongue between the lips. In this case, I use the support of my throat. I could explain this stuff in another workshop, but that's okay in the way you prefer to do it. But if you try to imitate what I do, you should be able to replicate it. Okay? So, more important, the sound has to be just one single beat of our lips. If we do something like it's not correct. The difference is do two different things. So just then after this sound that is T, we have to add P. So, one sound T is with the tip of the tongue between the lips, and the other one is just a pop. We don't use the air from our belly. It is quite complex, but in this case, if you just try to imitate me, it is easier. Imagine to replicate this sound. Okay, and use these muscles if you can. So, and then it is the same like for the staccato and doppio staccato. So when we use the staccato, we only use the T. And if we use doppio staccato, we use taka taka taka. In this case, we use T and T, P. Then, okay, so first of all, please going ahead and practice with. and then we continue with the exercise. Okay, if the sound came out quite good, better. If not, I can even suggest you to go ahead with this exercise. So you can also add the flow to this kind of sound. Maybe it will be easier. If we go too slow, it is not so simple because we interrupt the sound too many times. So in this case, I wrote the rhythm is in 6/8, and it sounds. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Very important to avoid to lose the timing as one, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So use the accent on the first note of the triad, okay, or the three notes. Very important, use only the air that you have on your mouth. It is just not that it sounds really bad. Okay? So practice for a while with this rhythm, and then we come back and we start with another variation. Okay, so the first variation we do is with the drone variation. So the first two sounds are substituted by another sound. Tiot, tiot. Okay, and then in this case we can use the drone, and if we want, I use it, the low vocals to like this. I show you how it sounds. But do it slowly. First of all, since it sounds very simple if you look at it, but the coordination can be quite difficult at the beginning, please repeat it just by voice. Okay, so keep going with this one. Stop your video and please continue later. Okay, for the next exercise, we go ahead and we add the breathing in. So, in this case, I breathe in these two positions. Okay, so in the accent of the main phrase. So this is just tone, as someone call it bounce breath. So okay. Okay. And I can mix the both, but first stop, practice just this one, and then we can continue. Okay, so please stop the camera and then we go ahead. With the next exercise can be mixing these two exercises. Okay, so okay, so before to go ahead, keep going in mixing the exercise. Please write the same phrases on a paper, and then try to keep going with your finger. And so on. So keep this in mind. Then you can even improvise moving with them. But it's very important to have something in front of you that you can read it. Don't go too fast. And after a while, when you have this kind of rhythm in your blood, then you can go ahead like a machine. Don't forget to use the right position of the accent. So okay, another variation that I did not write. Okay, see you in the next exercise and the last one. Okay, if you arrived till here, the next exercise is using the high vocals. If we well practiced it before, we should be able to practice this exercise in a quite simple way. So we just substitute the first sound with high vocals. Since we want to have the high vocals on every accent, we have to substitute even this group of notes. So it will become, but at the first one we add the high vocals. Okay, so this was the last one. If we join them all together, you will obtain this song that is contained in dynamic. You find it on Spotify. You can also listen some other versions that I made live. If you write my name and the song on YouTube, you will find lots of video where I play this song. The last suggestion I give you that is very important. I remember in 2005 I was in UK and a guy said me, can I have the workshop, and in the workshop can you explain this stuff? And I said yes, sure. And as soon as we started, he said, yeah, something is wrong, because I asked you to play something that on stage was amazing, powerful. And they said, yeah, the thing was on stage I had the PA system. And so, very important, if you play something like, it can have an higher volume respect than. But since the second part, the second rhythm I played, it contains sound and silence. If I amplify the silence, I obtain nothing, and if I amplify a very small sound, I can obtain a really loud sound. But if my lower sound is and the higher is and so the difference of pressure level is very similar to the sound and the silence, I amplify all of them. And so if I want to have something very catchy, very powerful, very staccato that sounds like a percussion, it's really important to do real staccato sound. And so if you want to listen to yourself in a better way, you can use a small PA system, just a microphone with a loudspeaker, or just put the didgeridoo in a corner of your house or in front of a wall. In this case, the sound gets back to you and you can recognize better every small detail. Okay? So thank you very much. Hope you like this lesson. It is very important to me because I really love this kind of sound. And tell me your opinion and see you to check your improvement. Thank you. Bye.